Want to see a cool shaker? Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and my studio. Today I am sharing a really fun shaker card that's all about die cutting and stacking dies. Yeah, stacking them for dimension, and the end result is pretty cool. The whole color palette for this card was inspired by the Sequin mix. Dig through your stash. I know you've got sequins laying around. Pull out a bag, look at it, and say, that would make a fun shaker card. To see my card project, stick around. It's coming up next. So here's a look at the products I'll be using today to create what I hope is a really fun shaker card. I have this beautiful sequin mix, and this is called Winter Glitter Sequin, and it just has blues and purples and some pinks, and I thought this would make a really lovely shaker with this lavender cardstock. I have a new die set from me. This is called the Basic Trio, and all this set is, it's just 3 simple words in a really nice size for basic greetings. So we have hugs, thanks, and hello. And that is just a very all-purpose and a nicely sized die set. I also have this Snowflake Hexagon, which I'm going to use to cut my shaker window. Let me show you this. So what we have here is this very cool die shape, right? And I am going to use this to cut out a window, and then I'm going to build up some dimension with extra die cuts. That's the plan. And there is an extra snowflake too, so if I wanted to, and I might, I might get creative and layer in some extras. I haven't decided. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, or that snowflake. I also have a little 3M MicroPore Tape. Haven't used this in a while, but I want to hold some die pieces together, so these are the basics. Let's get started with die cutting. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure that the window itself is centered on this panel, okay? Because this is how I'm going to create my shaker. And I'm going to tape this into place. I think that should be enough. And I'm going to die cut this out. But I want to preserve the pieces because I'm going to use this as the base of my shaker. And I think it will all make sense shortly. So let's put the plates on. Go over to my die cut cam. I'm going to run this through. All right, I'm going to take this off, lift this up off the piece. And even if this didn't stay in place, it would be fine because what I'm going to do is tape it all together. So I'm actually just going to let this slide. Well, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to slide it off like that. And I don't need this centerpiece, so I'm going to pick that up real quick. There we go, just like that. Poke that out. And I think I'll take just a little bit of tape here, just to hold this in place, okay? It's all gonna make sense because what we're gonna do is flip this over, okay? And I want to tape these things into place with some MicroPore tape. Now you can use any kind of tape you like, it really doesn't matter. Years ago, when I first started making cards, I learned about this tape from my friend Jennifer McGuire because she had used it for lots of different things. So I ordered it, not because I'm a surgeon, because I think it's like a surgical thing. I'm not completely sure. But what I want to do is just have this base as is. This is how I'm getting my shaker window. And then we're going to cut, and you can use Scotch tape for this as well. Any tape you have will work. Because again, the point is we just want to make sure these pieces stay in place as we are preparing to build up some dimension on this card. And because I'm an over adheser, I'm just going to come here and do that. All right, so I can now lift this friend off because everything's been held into place. What I need to do next is I am going to take this die and some white cardstock. Actually, I'm going to need, well, I don't think I can, yeah, I'm probably going to need a couple. I'm going to cut 2 more layers out of white just for the outline, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out off camera so that we can start to build up some dimension on this card. So the next thing I'm going to do is get my spray box, and I'm going to make sure that I flip these over, right, the right side. So I'm spraying spray glue on the back, and I'm actually going to do this off camera, but I'm going to spray a little bit of my spray glue onto the back of this, but I'm going to do it away from my work area so I don't have to breathe it in. And I'm going to just line this up to the, oh, there's a little extra there. Let's get that out of there. Come on. I'm going to line this up to the best of my ability, focusing more on the window than anything, because once I get that window in place, let go there, it's very sticky, the rest should kind of fall in line. Now, it's just easier, I think, to do this than do an inlay because you've already got one layer, right? So let's get the next layer. We're just gonna, again, focus on the window and the rest will fall in line. And I might even do one more because I like this look of the dimension coming up. So let's, I'm going to cut one more layer to pop this on top. All right, I've got one more layer, which I thought would be nice. Let's pop you in again, focus on that window, getting all that lined up, and the rest will mostly fall into place. It's really not that hard to line this up. Okay, same thing here, 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 here. Gently press, get that there. And then I'm just going to press down with an acrylic block, really let those adhere. Like that. Now look at how fun this is. So now we've got something that has that little bit of dimension, right? It's kind of cool. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to be trimming this down just a little bit. So let me grab my paper trimmer. I just want to have a little border. So I am going to take a 1/4 of an, or an 1/8 of an inch, is that an 1/8? Off one side. Okay, I'm going to flip it. Do the same over here. So we have 4 inches wide. Okay. And then for our height, we're going to go, I think I'll go here and take off, let's see. I'm going to take a little more off here because it's going to be 5 1/4 tall. But I think, let's come up here, a little more there. And I'm just looking top and bottom. Let's see here, 5 1/4. So that way, we're going to have a little border on our panel. I just want to make sure that I trimmed that correctly. Yep, that's going to be great. I've cut a little piece of acetate here for the window, and I think what I'm going to do, I think that's big enough. Yeah, I'm just going to take some of this Tear-Rific tape. Oh my gosh, there's hair going into this project. We don't really want that. Well, I mean, as long as it doesn't show through the shaker. I'm going to put some of this down to adhere the acetate nicely. Go like that and get this gone. I'll just release the backers so that I can adhere the acetate. It's a little involved, but I had a vision. And I love when that happens. Okay, so now we take our little shaker window and we just pop it down like that, press down. And even if some of that adhesive is showing, it's no big deal, but now we have our little window there. All right. Now I'm going to build up my shaker now. Let me grab some foam tape. This is really my favorite way to do a shaker, and that is take a wide foam tape. And this is the what is this, 3 3/4 of an inch? Yeah. And take a piece that you know will at least be big enough. You need more of it anyway to complete the shaker, so don't worry if you have too much. And what you're gonna do here is take your foam tape like this, fold that in half, just so it meets like that. Then you work your way down the strip. And then you have a doubled up piece of foam that most times for a sequin fill, like the type I'm using, is going to be totally enough clearance. But this is also very malleable. And we like that because we have a shape that we're going to work around. So take the backer off like this. Just peel it. Okay. It's very sticky, but I always use the inside here because this side, the inside doesn't have stick on it. This part, well, it doesn't, it's not as sticky, put it that way. And then all you're going to do is just work your way around the shaker. Stick and turn. Stick and turn. Oh, it's very sticky. Stick and turn. Stick and turn. Stick and turn. And then when you get to the end, right, lift it up, come in and just get as close as you can in there and go snip. And that, it's very sticky, but right there is your well for your piece. And then you use these pieces left over because you got to build up the same dimension, right? If you're going to be popping this up, you're going to need to support it all the way around. So I am going to cut a little more foam to double up here, here, and here. So I've got this filled in, right, to give the support. And I wanted to show you, I cut a piece of Simon Says Stamp glitter to be just a little bit smaller than this, okay? Because that's going to become the backer for my project. And even though you won't really see a lot of this shine, you might catch some of it in the light. So let's get our shaker fill here. We're going to fill it up, okay? So I'm taking my winter glitter sequin mix and just pouring it in like that. And I think I'm going to keep it pretty full because you aren't going to, it's not competing with anything because I'm going to put my greeting over the top. However, just to be on the safe side, I am going to do just a few dots of the liquid glue here so that when I place my piece, this backer, I have maybe a couple seconds, right, to close up the shaker. Like that, okay? We're just doing a full panel shaker here on the back, meaning on the back, we're filling it up. So I'm going to stand up because it's curling a little bit because of the foam, and I'm just going to line it up at the bottom. And if any spills over, we'll just trim it off. But I think this is going to be very close. Okay. So this becomes the backer, and this is going to get glued onto the whole card. Look at how cute that is. So now I have a little winter shaker with that beautiful fill, and this will go onto a note card. So let me get my note card prepared. So I have my cardstock here. This is going to be a top folding note card, USA 2. So we are scoring right here at 5.5. Fold this down, and I will give it a nice press with my Teflon bone folder. And what I'll do here is I'm going to put some liquid glue just all over the back, because this is how I'm going to adhere this whole shaker element to the card. And you'll see there's just a little bit of a white border, and because I have the liquid glue on, I can just sort of wiggle that until I get it right where I want it. Like that. Can't really see because of that black background, but That looks pretty good. Over a little maybe. Let's see. I love that liquid glue just for that wiggle room. And now press. Lovely. Now it's time to add a greeting to this card. And of course, if I wanted to, I could die cut a couple more of these because I believe that that is the same size. So I may add a snowflake here and there. I haven't decided yet. Let me get my greeting. And I think here, you know what I might do? I might just do a little, well, any of these could be nice, but a little hello for winter. Let me cut these apart with my little snips here and die cut a few pieces out, and we'll see how it looks. I decided I wanted to use this hello, but I want it to be just ever so slightly offset from the center, okay? And I didn't want to use foam squares for the dimension, right? Because I want this to stay level. Well, there are 3 complete layers of this built up. So I just die cut 3 more little hells, cut off the O's. I'm going to glue these together, and then that's going to give me the lift for this to go off of the card. So, you know, I'm just going to do it with the liquid glue because this is so easy to do. And I'll just put my little dots all over. Oh, I got a little stringy in there. But this is just another way to build up dimension with cardstock. And I cut all these pieces from leftover pieces from the other die cuts. So making the most out of my cardstock. Okay, I'll just start gluing these together. Super easy to do too, because you just pick it up like that. Come here. Wiggle it into place. And I will repeat and glue that to the back. Takes the guesswork, right, out of what size foam tape to do. I think this will work. Pick this up. This is the closest thing to math I'll ever do, is figuring out the dimension for, I think that will be great. Then all we do is we flip over our main full greeting, add our little dots, but we stop, well, we don't really stop at the, okay, let's see, are we there? Yeah, we'll stop here because then we're going to add glue to the back of the whole piece. Okay, and that goes on like that. You can just wiggle it into place, flip it over to make sure it's all lining up like that. And then I'll just press that together so it adheres really well. It's lined up. That is one thick dimensional piece, but it's going to work, and I think it will look very cool on top. Oh yeah, and now when I set it in here, it's gonna balance right where, and actually I could even just split right like that. Isn't that cute? Okay, I'm gonna glue this down, but I don't want the glue to seep out onto the acetate, so I'm definitely just making little tiny drops here. Enough to hold it in place, and then this friend will just get a little for the points of contact. Okay. So right in the center, like that. Gotta hold it for a second. I think I'm going to put a brick on it just so that I can get that so it does not move. Oh, I think that's so cute. And press. And I'll let that adhere. I had an extra snowflake and I was thinking about putting it in here, but once I had pressed my word down, I realized I didn't really like that. And I actually love how that looks, how it's, you know, cut out like that. So let's place some sequins onto here to finish off the design. We'll just add these to the card. Boop. Boop. These ones are going to go in the center of the snowflakes. I just kind of swallowed that boop again. It happens sometimes, especially when I'm doing a lot. Boop. Get you in there. Here. All right. Last two. Boop. And that is my finished card project. I kind of love how that turned out. So you've got your shaker element, you've got a little extra shine with those sequins. And again, just this nice lavender color with the crisp white. And I don't think you really can see that glitter cardstock in the back there. You can a little bit, like when it hits the light right. So I don't know. I think that's a really fun die cut card project, shaker card, and I hope you enjoyed. You can find links to all the products I used in today's video in the YouTube description box. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my channel, so please hit that subscribe button and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. To see a few more shaker card ideas, check out the 2 thumbnails I have linked for you below, and I'll see you in those videos.